where were you before we started working together?
It's funny because if you remember, I came to you probably about a year and a half ago and we did a resume redo
Yep.
and update of my LinkedIn profile. I made attempts to go out and start applying for jobs, punching through job applications using that stuff. And I admit, Tim, it was a half effort at best because I hadn't made up my mind for sure to leave or not. And I was just kind of poking around and fishing. Well, a year or so goes by, I came back to you guys and I said, look, I need deeper help than this because I'm realizing that a career search is much different than just poking around at job applications, right? It's going to require some dedication, some help. I'm going to need the assistance from you guys and the automation and things like that. So, at the time, there wasn't any additional opportunities within my current employer. So that's when I reached out to you guys and just decided to sign on for the help.
While you need an impactful resume that highlights your accomplishments and achievements, like that's so important, but applying online is broken. You got thousands of people that apply, even at the director and VP level. There's 1,000 people, and even if you have that best resume that's optimized, they might not ever read it. They might not ever get to it. And then you get an email saying, hey, we found someone who's a better fit. And you're confused because you're like, I'd be perfect for this role. So yeah, I can understand the frustrations on that. And that's why we started working together. I ask everyone this, Chris, what did you find most valuable about working together? Because I do know it could be you got a massive salary increase. It could, and that's what you said when you had got a hold of me, but was it that, or was it interview prep on this, or just being around other successful people? Was it the community? Like, what did you find most valuable about working together?
Certainly salary and upward mobility was two of my main goals. I will tell you, two of the biggest underrated values that I got from this, I'm a sales guy by nature, so I network all the time for selling. I had never spent the effort and the time networking for personal reasons. I got a lot of value out of the automation and the networking that I did. My network from a LinkedIn perspective grew by 20% in 4 or 5 months versus 5-7% over the past 2 years. For me, those are contacts now that I have, that I've spoken to personally, that I've had some kind of personal interaction with, and I know it's not just someone I clicked accept for. I know if I need to go back to them and say, hey, can you help me with this? I have those now. And those are valuable to me, not only from a job search perspective, but I plan, frankly, on using some of the automation stuff that you guys taught me as part of my sales roles.
We have a saying in our program too, is network like you don't need a job. That's also kind of how you want to approach sales, right? Is I want to try to best position my product or service, but I don't want to come off as salesy because it doesn't work. So how do we do that? And it's good that while connecting with these people, you saw value in that. It worked out for you, taking on the VP of sales role, and you got a territory and you got to increase. And I'm glad too, when they pushed back a little bit, you use tactics and strategies that we talked about. And really that alone accounted for a very significant increase, which is really awesome. And I'm really excited for you.
Yeah, I think the biggest one that got us over the hump with the salary situation was the market rate discussion. Because the reality is they were looking at me as an internal transfer. It was a slam dunk. They felt like they could do what they wanted there from an offer. But when I pointed out to them that, look, I've already talked to and actually turned down offers for other VP roles at X, Y, and Z for market rates. And I know that you're going to have to pay the same thing if I don't take this job, and you have to go externally. So,
and they're going to spend 6 to 12 months getting that person up to speed on
ramping up and training.
Exactly. Yeah, that's great. So, hey, I know you got the resume in LinkedIn and you circled back later. What advice would you have for someone who's considering working with us? Because I know for you, it was like, hey, I'm starting. Let me go ahead and get my documents up. And then we almost waited, because I'm a time guy, right? And you're a sales guy. So we always say time kills all deals, right? Did you ever think back and say, what if we would have potentially, partnered earlier, or, because I know that's a lot of people's minds is, when's the right time, And I know for you had those vested stocks, and I know that's a difficult thing. Everyone's situation is different, right?
Yeah, I think I think a lot of people think that, so let me just say this. I've been at the same company now. I just celebrated 15 years with this company, gone through several acquisitions with them. The days of the job searches that I knew from 15 years ago, it's totally different nowadays. And so when I went into this a year ago, just doing a refresh on the documents and the profile, I was operating under the impression that things were the same way they were before. They're not. I should have signed on for the full program then with you guys. You've got to dedicate the time, which was probably the hardest challenge for me because I was still working that full-time job while trying to do this. Lunch breaks, after work, weekends, you name it. That's when I was doing my networking, and oftentimes my networking calls were after 6:30 at night. It's definitely do it sooner rather than later, and make sure you dedicate the time that you need to put into it.
Well, just those conversations alone. If you're talking to, let's just say 4 or 5 people, whether they're interviews or potential interviews or whatever, that's going to be at least 30 minutes a call, maybe 60 minutes. And you're going to have to do research before the call. So it's absolutely a lot. And almost no one thinks they have any time until it's a big priority in their life and they have to make time. Like so many people say, hey, I don't have time to work out. You know, what time do you get up? 6, get up at 5, right? Problem solved. So, hey, Chris, in the end, I'm just really glad everything worked out, and definitely keep me updated with, everything for the new role.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I want to make sure to stay, as far as the group goes, keep me on your rosters, keep me in your, your chat profiles and all that, because if something comes up with Lumen and you got folks looking, then steer my way. I'll help them out any way I can.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Thanks.